Hey. Welcome to Common Spurs TV. Tonight we have such an amazing array, and I don't know where to start. We had Marseille. Marseille. Okay, let's do a bit of a rewind if you like. Right, back in the Champions League after 3 years. Some people say 4 years, but I think it's 3 years. But hey, we'll do the math later. And then I think one of our guests has disappeared, but hey, we'll come back to that very shortly. But hey, Marseille against Spurs, home match, week one of match day one, and we come away with the points. But familiar story. Before we go into that, let's just introduce our guests. All right, we'll start with Falabi. Falabi, how are you?
I'm very good, guys. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. And then we've got a new guest. Well, a couple of new guests. Before we go to new guests, let's just think. Let's just go to Ben. Ben, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Glad to be here as usual. Wouldn't miss it for the earth, especially
Lovely.
after that kind of match.
Absolutely. And then we have Kolapo. Kolapo, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Now, I mean, okay. I know this is. I'm not. I'm trying not to sound. What's the word? Excited, right? But we've got Mommy Gio in the house. We call Jennifer Mommy Gio for good reason. Okay, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And thank you for having me.
Now, I mean, the reason why we call Jennifer Mommy Gio is twofold, right? We've got this Nigerian Sports Forum, right? And everybody has this, what's what? It's a bit short on females, if you like, and Jennifer brings that, what am I call it, the lovely female touch to it. And yeah, she makes a lovely contribution. And everyone calls her Mommy Gio because she has this penchant for, for uh, doing the bits when it matters. Anyway, back to Marseille. Now, I don't know where to start. So, first of all, the starting lineup. Perisic was the only change from the last match, right? So we had essentially the same. A lot of people expected plenty of rotation in the squad for the match. Bear in mind that we have quite a lot of matches lined up for the next few days. We've got City coming up on Saturday, and people thought, okay, a few people might be rested for that City match, but I mean, someone said in the group, Mr. Conte doesn't do rotation; he just does substitutions. Jennifer, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think it's actually a good, it's actually a good strategy. Instead of substitution, just rotate everybody and go on. So I think if it works, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So
Absolutely.
I think it's worked for us so far, and you should just continue as long as we keep on bringing in the wins. I think it's great.
I know. Talking of wins, 2-0 on the day. I mean, who would have thought it? The way the match was going. I mean, I thought we kind of played under par, if you like, for the most part of the match until the red card sort of changed things at the end. Ben, I mean, I know Ben, you're like
Yeah,
Mr. Positive, but hey, let's hear from you.
yeah. See, listen. When I was watching the match and I could see the way the ball was just coming off the defend off of our players, it wasn't like when they played against Fulham. And the only thing I could think of was the fact that they were nervous. I mean, you think about it. I mean, these are not robots; they're human beings, and this is something that they aimed for since last season to get the Champions League. And now they heard that Heineken music, that lovely music that we hear in the beginning, Champions League, not this Europa crap. Champions League music it makes the hair on the it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. You know what I mean? So I think they were nervous, and when you get nervous, you get even more nervous. And I think what they needed to do was go in at halftime, get shouted at because they came out. It was like they ran out from the training from the from the changing rooms. They were out 5 minutes early, like they got a rocket up their bums by Don Conte, and they came out and did the business. Because you look at the way that Son, we didn't see Son do that in the first half. The way he was running like a hare, and that did bring him down. So people will say, "Oh yeah, after they went down to 10 men." I don't think so. I think they went down to 10 men, yes, but only because of the pressure that our players were putting them under.
Well,
I think so.
I think
Second half was good.
it's amazing you say that because people say that. I mean, I heard lots of comments like, okay, the match would have remained the same, if not for the red card. But I mean, I think to myself, okay, the only reason the red card came about was because we put them in such a position that they had to make the tackle, and of course, if you didn't have that position to make the tackle, you wouldn't have the red card. So hey, it doesn't quite work in a vacuum. It's contextual. Kolakwa,
Yes,
thank you for
sir.
joining us for the first time on the program. We welcome you as what might call a new guest if you like, but hey, ardent sports fan. You've been a Spurs fan for God knows how many years. Tell us a bit more.
A bit more about what? When I
Hey,
started being a Spurs fan,
well, your
1985.
sports fandom, to begin with, before we look
Yeah.
at tonight's match,
Okay. I mean, I missed part of the match in between end of first half and beginning of second half. But when I came back on, I saw that they were down to 10 minutes. But I saw the replay, and obviously they were under a lot of pressure. I mean, the first half I wasn't impressed. I thought they were second best in everything. Even part of second half they were. But one thing they said, I watched the interview, and Perisic said it, and Kane as well. They were nervous. I don't know why they were, experienced professionals as they are, but they were really nervous. And again, maybe because they were at home as well. There was a lot of
Yeah.
expectation from every one of us. So that made them a bit nervous. And they were second best. They were second best. And I felt the midfield was not there. They were overpowered. Marseille did a lot of high pressing, and that's what Man City do as well. So, like Mommy Dio was saying, I don't know what they're going to do on Saturday. They really, really need to be, they need to be spiky because they were just second best. They were a bit lethargic. I didn't see the energy in the midfield. They were overpowered, and but I think we have something going for us this season. We don't play well yet, we win or we draw.
Well,
Well, there must be something about it. So, but um, it's going to come undone very soon if we don't improve on the attitude.
well, it's interesting you say that because we played what? This is our seventh match in this season, right?
Yeah.
Unbeaten.
Well, glad you mentioned that. You know, um,
But we only had two good games.
yeah, but okay, so um, we. I'm thinking to myself, look, we don't. I'm not sure it's a coincidence when you go 7 matches unbeaten, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you come away with the point or the results. It's not a coincidence. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I looked at tonight's match, and maybe I was a bit, what might call, I looked from a critical perspective, right? And for Falabi, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So, yeah, people say that, okay, we had a poor first half, right? I'm thinking to myself, so did Marseille have any shot on targets? Did they actually threaten us in a way, shape, or form that sort of put us under a lot of pressure? I didn't see it. They had a lot of possession, but I didn't think it was possession of a telling nature. So what I found across for most of the matches that we played so far this season, that look, we've given away possession, but it's like in a what you might call controlled fashion, in a way that doesn't put us under threat, and we don't feel like they're about to score a goal or they had a shot on target. Well, I mean, did I miss something?
No, you didn't miss anything. My take on the first half is, for me, I think that's probably the poorest half we played this season. Normally, yeah, we allow the teams to take possession, have possession, and everything. But in the last third of the in our last, they don't. box area, penalty area, just before that, around just before there and everything, we sort of tighten up. And today we defended with a lot more players. Nerves. I find it rather strange because how many international players did we have in the starting 11? I can understand they're a bit nervous for the first 5-10 minutes, but for the entire first 45 minutes, I find that rather strange because even when we won the ball back, we couldn't put string five
Yeah.
passes in a row together. We'd always lose the ball. Yeah, and we were never winning those 50-50 balls. We weren't going hard, with the tackles and everything. And we were very lethargic in our play,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the
I mean,
playing was looked tired from the onset. He looked tired from the very beginning. Richarlison was running. Don't care what anybody says on the forum that Richarlison and Son were the poor. They were not the poorest. They were not the poorest. If you look at it, their keeper, Son almost scored the goal by pressurizing their keeper, who made a big mistake but recovered in time, which was lucky
Yeah.
for them. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
let's not forget that nobody else put pressure like that. And so, G, you're right. They had only one shot on target in the first half. Where our captain managed to keep it out. Thank goodness. I don't know what strategy Don Conte is doing, but it seems as if, look, let them have possession in their half, in the beginning of our half, but when we now get to the third part of the pitch and everything, the danger zones and everything, tighten up and everything, and take more control of the game. And I think that's what we did. You know, Second half, you can't get sent off unless I personally think I'm glad it was a reckless tackle. It was a hot-headed tackle, but everybody's saying Son is this, or don't do. It's not all about scoring goals. It's about also being able to create goals, create opportunities for other people to score, which is exactly what Son did with that when he went on and made the defender make that tackle. It brought them down to 10 men. You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
So
It's one of these things where it's like the airline thing whereby people go a lot of airlines overbook and with the expectation that not everyone will turn up on the day, right? And
yeah,
done that, they expect that okay, fine, but sometimes it doesn't work out because everybody turns up and a lot of people are not happy. The same way we've kind of essentially bucked the trend, if you like, because if you look at it from the setup, you think, hang on, okay, we've considered possession. We haven't quite. I think from a Spurs perspective, right? We didn't quite put 2-3 passes together because they kept it very very tight. And someone said, "Look, Marseille, on the face of it, sound like easy meat, if you like, right? But really, really and truly, this is the first match they've lost throughout the whole season, right? And it's not like they're pushover the torch. And there's no easy 3 point in the Champions League. I mean, even in the Premier League as well. So for us to come away with for us to come away with 3 points, I think we've done really well. I mean, Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't wait with 3 points from that sort of match. I mean, look, they were actually touted as being unbeaten in the French Ligue 1, for Christ's sake. It was there. I think people were saying that kind of thing just to make us sit up. But they were unbeaten. Yeah, people were saying, "Oh, they're similar to us. Look at how they're unbeaten in the Ligue 1." They didn't say the League On anyway. They just said they're unbeaten in it.
In their league, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
how many times have they played PSG? Yeah, I don't think they have. And if they did, they'd probably lose both of the matches. So no, I think that, like I said earlier, I did say earlier that I believed our guys
So
were nervous, understandable, but I don't think we were lucky. I think one thing I wanted to say was that if there'd been 11 players on board, we probably would have beaten them by more goals. See, because when they went down to 10, as soon as they went down to 10, they just closed it. They just closed in, and
yep.
there's lack of space because everybody just, how many times have you seen in the Premiership where you find it very difficult to beat 10 men? Once they go down to 10, everyone's looking to defend. They don't want to score; they want to defend. So for me, we did well. We did well to approach those two goals, or should I say, Richie did well.
Yeah, I mean,
So it was
I couldn't agree more. Now, for me, it's like one of these things where, I mean, everyone thinks that, oh, we should roll over Marseille, but as someone said, I mean, Igor Tudor is not essentially what you might call a pushover, right? He sets up his teams very nicely. He's got a winning mentality in the Juve squad won quite a lot of titles, while he was um, with us. Hang on, I think I've lost. Hang on, who's here? Anyway, yeah. So we've had quite a few. What's the word? Quite a few um, interesting bits, if you like. Now, I think Chuma joined us again. We lost somebody. I think we lost a couple of people. I'm not sure what's happening here, but we lost Kolapo. We still got Jennifer back with us. Jennifer, can you hear us? Chuma, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Good evening.
He's coming here. Hey, Chuma, don't come with this smile.
Oh no, I'm literally hiding out. So I'm at an event at work where there's a lot of boozing and cigar smoking in one corner. So I've hidden away.
That's
very good, Bruce. Yeah.
yes, that's my event.
Right. All right. If you're
Yeah.
joining for the first time, this is Common Use Sports TV. We have a quite a lineup here tonight. We had Jennifer earlier on. For some reason, she's dropped off. We have Chuma back with us. We also have Kolapo. Kolapo is joining for the first time. And we have our regular guest, Ben. Ben is joining from stateside, and we have Falabi is joining us from Abuja. So yeah, tonight's Spurs versus Marseille. Spurs winning 2-0. Performance-wise, a lot of people felt that it wasn't quite the best performance, but hey, we did the business on the day, and this seems to be the story of Spurs this season. We don't play so great, or come out with the victory, or come out with the relevant results. Chuma, welcome back. What did you think?
Well, what can I say? Someone said something to me yesterday, a Chelsea fan, ironically. He said this season is going to be split into two, pre-World Cup and post-World Cup. And your
No
aim
shit.
pre-World Cup before November is just basically to keep yourself as close as possible. Performance-wise, it doesn't really matter. Just get the points. And then post-World Cup, try and now build consistency. And that would lead you to wherever it is you want to achieve. So I look at what we're doing so far. We're compact, we're defensively solid. We weren't attacking as much. There was no pace. You could hear him screaming. You could literally hear. I don't know if you guys watched the feed I was watching. I could hear Conte's voice. He was
Yeah.
screaming, pass, play, 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 play. You literally hear him screaming.
Well,
He wanted them to be faster, and they were slow. They were so slow. They were ponderous. But at the end of the day, you win 2-0. That man, Richarlison, gets off the mark. His first ever European match, not first Champions League game, his first ever game in Europe. And
Yes, no.
now,
he's
Yeah.
played.
that's interesting you say that, because if you think about it, okay, scored a couple of goals. We'll come to that in a minute, right? But for me, I mean, at the end, I don't know if people saw the reaction, and you sort of hit the nail on the head. I think, look, ultimately, we take these things for granted. I was saying to you about Richarlison's background and the fact that he's had to overcome a lot of challenges to get to where he is today, right?
Oh yes,
And
absolutely.
and he just sort of brings it up in stark reality. I mean, it's such a lovely moment at the end of the match there when he went with his family. He
Yeah,
was essentially in tears, you know, and that was
Yeah.
Hmm.
just
that was
it
beautiful.
was good to see. I mean, him scoring 2 goals, and I mean that had been coming. You know, he had you know we'll go to his goals later on. I mean, in the course of the program, but hey, I thought he did very well. You know, even though overall I think that okay, maybe Sports could have run a lot better than we did, but hey, we got opponents in front of us. We had to do what we had to do, and come up with the result that was required. Colorful.
Yes.
I think you sound like you're itching to say something.
Well, I mean, I actually did read about Richarlison before we bought him, and
Okay.
he comes from a very, very, very deprived background, and he's had to overcome a lot of obstacles to even get to Europe,
Yeah.
and that's why he ended up where he started off from before he went to Watford and then Everton. And I saw that moment on TV as well, that very emotional, poignant moment when he went to his family and he burst into tears that all these years, finally, I score in the Champions League. He scored for Brazil before. So it's
Yeah,
not that he hadn't played international football before. He has,
Yeah.
but it was just so important to him. And what you read about him, he's so well liked, very aggressive on the field, but he's such a jolly good fellow in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that he scored those 2 goals, and he made all of us happy because our neighbors, our noisy neighbors, have been screaming all these weeks, and we're glad
Maybe they're playing
they've
tomorrow.
been kept quiet for a few days now.
Well, I didn't want this program to be about a noisy neighborhood, honestly, because
Oh,
really
you can't but
we,
they had a couple of their old boys in the Marseille team as well.
well,
So you can imagine
Oh
if
yes,
they'd won,
this is
what we
what
would have been
I was going to focus
nice.
on. I think okay, fine. They had the game, then
Genduzi and
Guzi,
Kolasinac.
and what's that other guy's name?
When Uzi,
Yeah,
I mean,
Tavares was such
Lord.
a flop, but he was running up and down the wing. So like Arsenal fans were texting me, they were saying, "Oh, wait for Tavares to score against you. We'll rinse you tonight." So God is on my side.
Yeah,
this weekend.
Well, we
Tavares
serve
did
a
play
living
well
God.
though.
We serve a living
I think
God.
he played well.
Indeed, he played well.
Now, first half, right? Ben, I mean,
Yeah.
what went on there? I mean, I thought, look, okay, we
Well, in the first half,
yes,
it's best to be forgotten. To be fair,
I agree.
no, no, that is like stage fright. But you know, one thing that baffles me is that when we first played Champions League all those years ago under Poch, we just played it like we took to it like a duck to water. There was none of these nerves. But this one, I don't know. It was weird the way they were playing. It was like I
Because
think
I think because there's a lot of expectation now than before.
yeah,
Before we were
yeah,
rookies in Champions League. There's a lot more
yeah,
expectation, and that's why they were nervous.
yeah. I think you're right. And they were flicking though. They were doing all sorts of flicks. I didn't like the flicks. They
Yes.
were doing like a team flicking Dele Ali. They were just flicking around the corner instead of
Yeah.
playing to feet. And I actually enjoyed it, when they started playing to feet. They took a long ball all the way into attack and to
Yeah.
Harry Kane, and Harry Kane pulled everybody up and get the ball to feet and turn. That one he turned and freaking hit it over the bar. That was so close. But that's what I want to see, not all these flicks. I thought we got rid of freaking Dele Ali with all these flicks that were all over the place.
None of the flicks connected. None of them. Not
No,
and
it
once.
didn't. Oh man, I was. Oh.
Colabi. So, if
Yeah.
you have a summary of the first half, right? Score Tottenham over 10. How would you score so in that half?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
No.
3?
So,
Uh-huh.
okay, 3. Okay,
That's about right.
right. Okay, fair enough. Now, I know. I mean, Chuma, you're one of the you're a great fan of Igor Tudor because I mean, obviously
Yeah,
he's.
I told you. I told you before the game.
I
I
know.
told
I
you
mean,
that.
and
I said it.
you know, he had this. He lost his career with Juventus. You
Hmm.
know, won several
Teammate,
championships
teammate to
and
Conte.
yeah, and it was
It was
Timo's
Yeah,
Conte.
Conte as well. So
Conte,
Yeah.
yeah,
and they're
so
very good
Yeah.
friends.
and they're good friends.
yeah.
So they know each other. You know,
They're
some people
very
say
good friends.
his career as a defender didn't really progress because he was so injury prone. But hey, but what I found is that look, we're in the modern age, and if you look at his record, he hasn't spent too long with that many clubs in the space for of time he's been with clubs. So I mean, again, not like Conte has been with us for years. But hey, but the difference between our team and Marseille is that okay, Marseille had what I call almost like a clean sheet type template, if you like, to build from. And we've had okay, maybe we're a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of how far we've gone, but it didn't show that well in the first few first half, first 30 minutes of the first half because I don't think we actually began to threaten to them until about 30 minutes into the first half. Chuma, what do you think?
We up until that chance Harry Kane had that he pulled. Yeah, it was slow. And that's the thing. I think this season it's been slow, and I was reading comments on the chat as well
More,
where
more,
everyone was
more like more
complaining.
like lethargic, right?
Yeah, they were also complaining about Son because there's a problem. Whenever Conte plays this system where he has two number 10s, you need people that the ball can stick to that will hold on to the ball. And Son doesn't hold on to the ball. As soon as you ping it to Son, Son tries to move too quick. He loses the ball, turnover, goes back. So in this game, in my opinion, you needed Kulusevski and you needed Richarlison and Kulusevski because they've got the body, they can hold on to the ball more, they're more technically gifted than Son in a very like Richarlison can actually dribble and move with the ball in a weird way better than Son does. But Son can run
Son
onto
does.
things and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So I just felt yeah, it was they overpowered us in the first half as well. Like it seems that they had too many midfielders compared to our own guys and but we're slow. Everything building up slow, slow. Romero was. This is the first bad game I think I've ever seen Romero
Yeah,
as a Spurs.
if you have to do, I mean, like what you might call a player what analysis and say, I mean, I'm not sure Romero would go past the 5/10 mark today because the stuff he has to do
It's,
today.
it's, it's his worst. It's his worst game in the
Yeah,
Spurs shirt. He couldn't come out well. He didn't bring out the ball properly. Him and Longley it was their job to bring the ball forward and then allow um, Hoiberg and this other guy and Bentancur do more, but they didn't. They couldn't. And
mm.
Romero was pretty poor, pretty poor in a game where even Emerson, my arch enemy, I can't even
Hey,
fault him. I can't even fault him as much as I fault Emerson.
now,
It tells you everything.
so I mean, I know that we don't want to sort of bring Paul into this discussion because we have his views and Emerson. Have those changed tonight, Falabi?
Somebody is
under
just
Moss.
looking for my trouble. You know, some people are just looking for my trouble, and you find it. I'll give it to you right now. No, let me tell you something. When I used to play sports in school, especially rugby, my coach always used to tell me one thing: you only play as well as your opponents allow you to play. So don't allow them to play. You don't allow them to play. You play your game. It seems to me today, as I said before, that first half was the poorest we have played this season and in a very, very long time. And and it was quite embarrassing that we could not even put in a 45 minutes, five passes, six passes in a row together. We could not win one single duel of 50-50 balls. Okay, we move on. We got 3 points. But Emerson Royal, I'll tell you something. The first positive thing, he made two critical interceptions.
Absolutely.
Two critical interceptions, and in both the interceptions, we actually it wasn't didn't give away a foul, didn't give away a corner. They both turned out to be goal kicks. One of them was just outside the penalty area, and one of them was actually in the penalty area, and they were both very critical interceptions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his crossing seemed to have even got worse today. If that is possible. If that is possible. But it seemed because there was one cross that this one was not 10 or 100 feet above anybody's head. This one was behind everybody who was going forward. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
I remember
And then
that
there
He's
was a
done that. He's done
and
that
then
in
there was
every
a
game this season.
and
Yeah.
then there was a shot. There was a shot he made in their penalty area, in their penalty box. Number one, the shot he didn't even have any power, and the shot was going to the corner flag. And so Emerson, I don't know. Sometimes today all I can say is at least he gave two very important interceptions. So
Oh
I'll give
man.
him credit for that.
We'll do the player scores a little bit later on, and I mean, okay, he scored 2 goals, and he's kind of put himself out as usual. And if you look at the last match we had against, who did we play against last match? Just remind me.
Fulham.
Fulham, right? He did really well. He scored a goal of rule for offside, but tonight, I just thought, I mean, both goals, both headers were absolutely fantastic goals. I mean, okay, maybe some people will say that maybe the keeper could have done better on the first goal, but I mean, you got to give the man credit. A, for the speed he was able to find, the way he turned his head to aim for goal. On both occasions, that was actually quite good. Kolak, what did you think?
Well, I think we were lucky for the second goal.
Okay.
If it was in the Premiership, probably VAR would have said it's not a goal. With a lot of the weird decisions VAR is making in the UK now, because you could see his hand slightly and the back of the other player. But you take what you get is the rub of the green. At times it goes against you, at times it goes for you. And this
Absolutely.
time it went for us, so I'll take it any day. But it was still a very good header. I didn't give him a chance of scoring that goal. But the way he gave it his all, and I look at that goal and I'm wondering where did all these crosses suddenly come from? Why did we get any until then? And the reason is simple. They just were not allowed to get to the last third. They just weren't allowed to. And like Falabi said, well, you're as good as your opponent allowed you to play. We didn't play our game. We should know that they won't. One thing they did, they didn't allow us to flow. People will stop you flowing. So what do you do to counter that? And that's what they should be thinking in the other matches. If they don't allow us to flow, how do we change the game such that, because that was one of the few times they got to that final third and Perez put in a very good cross. So, you have players like Richarlison, you have people like Kane who are good in the air. Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah, I'm not sure we got our rhythm going quite well because over the course of the whole match really, because we had patches in Bessa where we didn't actually do well at all. We couldn't string together, and it just seemed to be falling apart. And there's times when some teams were losing the ball so frequently, and it's so difficult to get ourselves going. And which, in a sense, some people will say, okay, maybe they prevented us from playing, or we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Chuma.
I think that Don Conte should make a statement, and unfortunately, that statement is dropping Sonny, because after the second goal there was that breakaway, and Sonny, for the first time, he didn't know what to do in a breakaway.
Yeah.
He was caught in two minds. That's never him. But now
I
he's
thought it was
trying
going
too
right.
hard. Yeah, he's thinking too much. So I think it's best for him to just sit down for a bit and
Yeah.
let Richarlison play from the left, Kulusevski play from the right, Kane stay in that
Yeah,
middle, and let's see what
yeah.
happens. And then he's
Make
an
him learn
impact sub,
ball.
comes on with no pressure. He scores his 2, 3 goals, gets off the mark, and then he's back. But right now, he's
Simple.
trying too hard. He's really trying to compensate for everything. He's he's not himself, and he's really, I think he's affecting the way the front three play. And
Well, on the face of it, look, from a Spurs perspective, we came up with 3 points. Match day one, back in Champions League after such a long time of being out. I think we can only look at it from a positive perspective going forward because it wouldn't have done
Yeah.
our
The
confidence.
one.
Going into this kind of match, losing the first match back in Champions League, and yeah, so I think it's a good confidence boost for next week. Falabi, you're going to say something?
No, I think with Sonny, I mean, I agree with Chuma. Maybe, and I've said it anyway. Last week I said it. Maybe rest Sonny, because two things will happen. On the he will when he will a lot of pressure. There'll be no pressure on his shoulders. The pressures on his shoulders will just disappear because he'll say, "Well, look, listen, I'm not the one in the forefront now, you know." And then they come on and create a bit of havoc with his
Okay.
speed, and with no pressure and everything. Hopefully, he may score. He'll definitely be a lot more relaxed,
Yeah.
and maybe not shine as such so hard. That's just my own take. But it's gonna be a tough call. It's gonna be a tough call because I know Don Conte
It's,
is really trying to please him, make him happy, and everything. What he's gonna do on Saturday is gonna be interesting to see, and it's gonna be a tough call.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of these things where if you look at it overall, right, um, we got to the point where had the pass breakaway for Son, drew the young man to the tackle, red card, down to 10 men. On the face of it, we should be all over them like a rush, and hopefully, I mean, get the points. It didn't quite happen as quickly as one expected, but at the end of the day, we came up with the points. I mean, Ben, what do you think?
yeah. We 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 kind of thought that they would just roll over. I think we got the first goal, 76 minute. It was really getting towards the end. I thought, wow, can't we break these guys down? But it actually goes back to what I said earlier, that it's very, very difficult to break down 10 men. Now, these guys were
No, no,
shutting us
no,
out
that's
when they
bad.
had 11. Became worse when they had 10. They just kept us out, refused to let us get through. And it took brilliance. It took a brilliant. Well, it was Perisic, wasn't it? Perisic on the head because they couldn't get through. Think about it. Both goals came from headers because no one could get through. Okay. Can you hear that noise?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Okay, it sounded like someone's tire was letting out air.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, ultimately, you got to sort of do what you need to do to create the chances and opportunities, and which can
yeah,
count on the
what
day.
you did.
And I mean, from our point of view, I mean, we did the business, and that's what good teams do. When it doesn't go, you play too great, but you have 1, 2, 3 opportunities, and you take them, and that's what we did. And I've got to
Especially
give it to the guys. We just did the business
Perisic.
there. Yeah,
Perisic more importantly because he's won this championship inside out, so he had to play. That's why my man, what's his name, didn't play. Sessegnon didn't play today. He'll play against City because he's got speed. Because we're going to need speed against City. but we needed Perisic today. Perisic
Are you sure we
was
don't
gold.
need speed against City? Hello? Are you sure?
We need
Well,
speed.
Perisic. Yeah. I'll play Sessegnon over Perisic against
Yeah.
City,
Perisic,
and
Perisic should be.
you can bring Perisic on afterwards. But you need bodies with speed in that game.
Mm, yeah. You need to because you need to keep what you need to do is keep
Sergey,
it busy.
quick shout out to Doherty who came on, and as he came on, got a chance in the box.
Absolutely.
Kulusevski fed him, and that's exactly what I told you that last time. Kulusevski goes wide. Doherty knows he goes into that half space,
Let-
but
let-
Yeah.
our other friend is quite clueless about that.
yeah.
I beg, leave the guy now.
Let's take a short look at Kulusevski. I mean, he came on, and for me, I thought he made a big difference, because he ran into the spaces, he got on the byline, he got crosses, and he just put them under so much pressure at critical times, and it was a bit of a handful, wasn't it? Well,
Well, yes. I mean, one thing that we need to do better is better pressing and quick turnaround of the ball. The games that we beat City, that's what we had done. Because City are going to monopolize the ball. They hold the ball very, very well. Um, and I think teams are studying us more and more. And anytime they do high pressing, we struggle. We do struggle. So we need to know how to cope with that. And we need to move the ball around very, very quickly.
hang on, texture.
Very, very quickly. And with boys like Sessignon, who are very quick, you need to be able to quickly get the ball and use the channels very, very well. And after
Mm,
all, that's the whole point of Don Conte having all these wing backs, because he loves his wing backs. You know,
mm.
so we need to turn the ball around quickly and get it going. That's the only way, because it's like they've got magnets in their boots. Those City players.
Did you say they have
Super
magnets in
glue.
the books? Hello?
Yeah,
Super glue.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. They hold on to that ball forever.
they do. So when
But
you
we still
get it,
beat
you
them.
got to do something with it.
Yeah.
But
We,
I also give credit, like I said, to Marseille's manager, because you have to understand that he did his coaching badges around the same time as Conte. I remember, I think if I read it correctly in one article, he actually went and more or less, when he was doing his badges, he was hanging out with Conte, so he understands Conte's
Yeah.
patterns. Conte has this thing
Oh,
where
of course.
Kane would drop in deep, and Kane would hit the pass to release the
Texture.
wing back or the wide player. They blocked him. They blocked him like 3, 4 times. They knew exactly
Yeah.
where he was going. So you could tell that this is a manager that has studied his friend very, very well. And he was like, okay, I'm prepared for you. And we did a very good job, Marseille. Like a lot of people they're saying, oh, we played poorly, but Marseille played very, very well. And it only took them going down to 10 men as well, and I was grateful when I didn't see Dimitri Payet starting today. I was so happy.
mm, mhm.
That guy is one of those human beings that he can turn a match at the drop of a dime. He's that creative person we've been screaming for at
Yeah.
Spurs for so long. And Payet was on the bench, and I was like, oh god, this guy, you blessed us by not playing this, by not starting this guy. So
He,
I
he
think he's
probably would
injured.
have played if they went down to 10 men.
yes, he would have come
No,
on. Yes, I agree. Yeah, he
it
would
was
have.
red. Are you sure? I thought he couldn't play
No,
for an
he was on the
infringement
bench.
last.
He was on. He played over the weekend, so I watched the game
Oh,
over
okay,
the weekend
okay, okay.
before the. So
All right, must have been someone else.
he played over the weekend. So
Okay.
was thinking he was going to start. But I think the manager doesn't fancy him that much.
Mm.
I
Mm-mm.
think there's a bit
He
of
doesn't.
power struggle for Marseille, so he's on the bench, and we took advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we got guys joining us all across the globe, from England, from America, from Abuja, from Lagos, all over the globe, and yeah, we're pleased to have quite a lot of guests and new guests as well. We also had Mommy Gio earlier on. I don't know what happened to her, but she's just disappeared. But hey, thank you so much for joining us. This is Come On You Sports TV. If you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We welcome your comments, and also happy to have you on to let us know where you're calling from. Please drop a comment in the comment section, and we'll put you on the podcast. Now, let's do a little bit of a sort of preview, sort of before we come up to. I know we're playing City on Saturday, and it looks like okay, potentially difficult match. But if my memory serves me right, every time we've gone to matches against City, fair the worst, we come out on top. Do you think this will be different?
There's a certain Erling Haaland now.
No template to you want template be that
No. Listen, I'm just saying because I'm just saying that look, that's what's happened in the past. So I'm just.
I think we should fear the worst because City are playing really
yes,
well.
That's all. Fear the worst.
And they've got Haaland.
Yeah, like I was saying to somebody earlier on, right? Haaland is a really good player. Okay, fine, he's had a good start, but we all know that people have purple patches. Maybe this is his
If he scored 50 goals this season,
I like how you're wishing the purple patch.
I know, right? And I mean, if you had a purple patch, fine. By all means, yeah. I mean, it's I mean, happy for you, but it just has to stop on Saturday.
But I think Villa showed that you could actually.
This is it, exactly.
Them and frustrate them. So I think Villa set the precedent for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
So I
You have to
don't
watch
see
the games where Haaland did not score and look at why he didn't score.
Exactly. Why is that? The only reason is because he's been marshaled. The sources of supply have been cut off, and it's just been make sure that look, it doesn't get to the ball doesn't get to him. So either it doesn't get to the ball, or the ball doesn't get to him. I think we're very good at that. The way we sort of set up, and we set up in such a way that we are so difficult to beat. And I think maybe from our perspective, we kind of need to sort of take a back look at ourselves again and think, hang on, okay, maybe we don't play so well. Maybe we don't have those fancy, intricate passes or what you might call passages of play. But part of the matter is that you can't play through us. You don't get spaces to get to the byline to put crosses across. We just are effective, and that's a credit to us, I guess. For Falabi, what do you think?
No, me. As I said it. When you come, we tighten up. We tighten up when you want to come through the middle, or you want to go by lines. When you're coming into our danger zone, we tighten up. We mark much better than we used to do. And we allow you to do all your passing around in the beginning of our half and everything, but coming to the danger zone and everything, we sort of tighten up. And as I said earlier, I'm a bit worried about Romero. Today, Fulham game, he wasn't tackling so well. Today, again, he wasn't tackling so well. I don't know if he's fully fit or if he's just managing himself, but I'm a bit worried about him. I was a bit worried. Today, I saw him going into a couple of tackles half-heartedly, which is not him. Which is not him.
Yeah, the one that this guy
finally
got.
Yeah.
Yeah. One that.
Chuma.
Yeah.
Before we round up, we've had a very good match. Very good in the sense that we had the results. I 3 points, not necessarily the best performance. I just sort of want you. Everyone will have a bit of a last word on this, right? So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that performance?
I think if I was going to go, I'd say the second half was better than the first, and so the second half brought the average up. So I'd say that was like a 6 over 10.
Okay, Kolakwa?
Just slightly above average because of the second half.
Kolakwa?
I think 6 over 10 about sums it right.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Falabi?
Well, I gave the first half 3, right? So you
So you're
know
going
me, I'm a
to get
straight.
12
You
in
know
the
me, I'm a
average.
straight shooter. So I'll probably give the second half 5.
Okay. Okay, good. Ben?
No. I'll give the second half. Let me give the second half 6, six and
Okay.
a half because we scored 2 goals. Because we scored 2 goals, and we played a bit. We played much better, much better. So I'll give the second half 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way we should
Beautiful.
really score it. First and second half, we should get
Um,
scores.
yeah,
But no,
Ben.
I'll give it 6. That's all I give it. I'll give it 6. We got the 2 points. Oh, sorry, the 3 points. We got the 3 points and 2 goals. So I'm happy. So yeah, 6. 6 is right about enough. There's room for improvement. Hopefully next week
Lot
when
of
we play against who we got next week.
Sporting,
Sporting, I
Porto.
think.
we got no,
Who?
Sporting Lisbon.
Sporting Lisbon away.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Sporting. Oh
Marcus
God.
Edwards, yeah, who played very
Yeah.
well today.
Well, that was the one match that he played. He played well. How many times did he play well for us? Hit the
Well,
guys
no,
down,
well,
Joe.
he
we go. We go
never
beat
got
them.
a
So,
chance. He
all
never
right,
got a chance.
gentlemen, and unfortunately, lady who's dropped off. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking at the aftermath of the Spurs Marseille match. Ended up being Spurs 2, Marseille 0. And yeah, I mean, we didn't play too great. We didn't sort of have a great performance. Came in with the results, and I guess at the end of the day, that's what counts. Yeah, we say, come on, you Spurs.
We
And
do.
look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Thanks for
Have a
having me.
good
Come on,
night,
you
guys.
guys.
Back
Good
to my
night.
groove.
Guys, nice meeting you.